So the greatest dangers of artificial intelligence is robots taking over humans, right? Chasing all the humans and children down the streets and trying to kill everybody like the Terminator. No. What is up, everybody? Tim El-Sheikh here from Nebulae. And in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the dangers of artificial intelligence. Well, at least one of them. There are quite a few of them. But one of the key areas that you tend to hear in the media, especially even fantasized by Hollywood, is the fact that it's robots that are the danger. That it's like Terminator or the robots we see in Westworld, one of my favorite shows, in fact, that it's all about robots want to go get out there and kill people and whatever. Well, actually, that's not going to happen again in our lifetime. And if you've seen my previous video, which I linked up here, where I'm discussing that the intelligence behind artificial intelligence with the technologies that we have today actually comes from the people behind the artificial intelligence. It's not some kind of a sentient type machine that has this ability to wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm not happy, I want to kill everybody. I hate people. No, that's not going to happen, okay? Let's just forget about that for now, right? But actually, the biggest danger of artificial intelligence is something that is happening right now, and in fact, it's been happening for a very long time. And it's to do with control. And when I mean control, I mean controlling your mind and your behavior. Now, you might turn around to me and say, Tim, surely that's not going to work. I mean, nothing can control me. Oh, yeah, we can't control you. We can control anybody, okay? I know this because we actually have algorithms that basically do that, okay? Although we're not doing it for the wrong reasons, which I will explain. But in fact, the idea of having algorithms that indeed can control your behaviors and can even change your behaviors without you realizing, that's been around for a very long time. And it's built on the concept of psychographics. Now, psychographics is an area of psychology that is designed to analyze your behaviors, right? Basically, what makes you, your personality, your traits, your behaviors online, your beliefs, your opinions, the things that you like to read, the things that you like to write about on your blog or social media. I mean, we're looking at a very deeper analysis of you, of what makes you, you. And the other area of psychographic techniques is not just about looking at you specifically or individually, but also trying to figure out external influences around you. In other words, the people around you. So effectively, we're crawling into you in order to crawl into the people around you, okay? I'm sorry it sounds creepy, but basically this is the technique. This is how it works. So, for example, every time you say you shop online or you stream music or films or whatever, and you always get these recommendations, don't you? Okay, and it's something that's been around for a very long time. And in fact, psychographic analysis has made its debut into the recommendation system, I don't know how many years ago, but I mean, as far back as I can remember. So it's not new in that respect. And in fact, recommendation systems are not designed to try to sell you more stuff, although that, of course, is a factor. But the number one reason these recommendation systems exist is to actually to learn more about you. So let's say, for example, you went online and you bought a t-shirt, okay? And the recommendation system, for some reason, recommended shoes for young girls. Now, if you've got a daughter or a niece, you might say, oh, these are really nice pair of shoes. Yeah, actually, I'm going to buy those. Well, yeah, you help the company make money, but actually, you've just stalled this system that you've got a little girl in your life, okay? Now, that straight away opens up that new window to say, oh, okay, this guy has a little girl in his life. It could be his daughter or his niece or his little sister. We don't know, okay? And based on additional purchases that you might make, we can actually even figure out, okay, what does this girl like to do? What are her hobbies, right? So, for example, if these shoes, you say, oh, these are really nice shoes, I'll click on them. But in fact, that gave me an idea. I want to buy some football boots for young girls. Oh, okay. That means this young girl is into sports. She likes football. Okay, we can start recommending more products, of course, so we can make money, but also we can learn more about this little girl. And do you see how this works? I mean, of course, this is a very simplistic way of showing it. It's a bit more complicated than that. But I just want you to understand, because the whole point of this channel, as you know, is that we want to be transparent about this, because AI is not something that is impacting the engineers or people like me. It's impacting you. It's impacting everybody. As I said earlier, it impacts children as well. So it's very important that you understand how these systems work. So every time you see a recommendation, don't automatically think, oh yeah, it's just because they're trying to make a lot of money out of me. Well, not only that, they want to learn more about you and your life and the people around you. This is what psychographic techniques are used for. This is what social media companies use and what e-commerce companies use. And in fact, I would say probably every single app use. And of course, different companies have different ethical values. I mean, for example, I said earlier that we use these techniques. Well, we're one of the very few companies in the world that know how to do this, okay? But you see, we want to do it for a completely different reason, because what psychographic techniques have done over the years, especially through social media, and this is based on research, this is not me saying it, and I will link, for example, one research that was published earlier this year by one charity, which is the Child Mind Institute. I've got it open right in front of me. And it just gives you an idea. It kind of pretty much summarizes what everybody else is saying. And the problem with all these recommendation systems is that they kind of drag you into this rabbit hole, okay? It is, like I said, it's about controlling your behaviors, controlling your mind in a sense, and dragging people down this rabbit hole that can cause depression or some kind of body dysmorphia, which we're seeing a lot in, for example, in Instagram and TikTok, for example. This again, according to research. We want to use the same techniques to try and help people to get out of these rabbit holes, which is very, very hard. I can tell you that right now. Some of the work that we do with some companies is really about using psychographic techniques to see how can we support their employees, okay? Especially during the pandemic. How could we help their employees to be happier, right? We even look at management. How can we even change the behaviors of management, which is not an easy thing to do, I can tell you right now. But it's really about providing more of a supportive way of helping people, right? Because psychographics, in fact, can be really, really positive. Like AI can also be extremely positive if it's done in the right way. But of course, we're not living in a world where AI ethics is seen as a priority. And in fact, I've seen a report recently, basically confirms what I know already because I speak to engineers and mathematicians all the time. They don't see ethics as something that is really worth worrying about, because their focus is about how do we make these algorithms work. Okay, so it's not some kind of an evil agenda, but there are companies out there, or indeed entities as well, that do have an evil agenda. Going back to the point that I made earlier, that the intelligence behind the AI is the intelligence of the people behind the AI. Okay, why are they using these psychographic techniques? What are they trying to do? So you've got to kind of ask these questions to yourself. Now, the good news, you can actually control them. Okay, now the way I personally do it, I don't allow these apps to track me. Okay. And eventually they do track me with, like, for example, if I want to upload something on my Instagram account or something like that, yeah, I tend to enable microphone, photos, etc. But there's absolutely no need for all of these apps to track me all the time. They don't need to track me when I take my kids to school or when I travel or when I go to sleep or go to the gym or whatever. They don't need to track me. I don't want them to track me. In fact, it doesn't add any value. It does not add any value at all. Of course, they'll tell you that they do add value, but actually they don't, okay? It adds value to them, but not to you. So the whole idea of personalization, at least our argument about personalized AI, it should not be used in a lazy manner where we simply try to take every single information about you, which includes information that is not necessary for us to take in order to create a personalized experience, right? Smart AI should be able to figure things out without necessarily using deeper psychographic analysis that a lot of companies are using today. And I think this is wrong. And this is what we're calling for. In fact, we're recently been invited to contribute to the UK government's work towards regulating AI to some extent. And actually, we are calling for regulation. We want, especially when it comes to behavioral change, anything that impacts human behaviors with AI, we want that to be regulated because it needs to be regulated. Right now, it's not. You see, we are ethical. We make a choice, right? We made a choice that we do not want to weaponize psychographic techniques. But nothing is stopping us from changing our minds, right? If I turn weirdo all of a sudden and say, you know what, I want to take over the world and I want to use psychographic analysis, literally nobody can stop me or stop my team. And that's dangerous. That's the point. So, but, I don't want to digress too much, but the key point I'm trying to make here is that ask yourself this question. Why do these apps recommend what they recommend? Why do these apps need to track you? Why do these apps need your date of birth? For example, I don't need your full date of birth for me to know your age. You can just give me the year that you were born in, and that's more than enough, right? Does it matter that you're 1 month older or 1 month younger? No, it doesn't actually. It's unnecessary. So ask yourself these questions, because at the end of the day, as a consumer, you've got a lot of control, you've got a lot of power to disable these things and a lot of power to demand change from these companies. And I actually welcome that Apple, they've started to take this very seriously. And in fact, we wrote a blog about it on our website, which I've got the link in the description below, so you can read that in terms of what they've done. So it's great that we're seeing some of the big, well, so far it's mainly Apple that seems to be taking this very seriously. They're taking your privacy very seriously. But we need a lot more. That's not enough. At the end of the day, it's up to you to make that change and demand this change. And certainly we're here to inform you about these things because we want this change as well. Okay? I hope this was helpful. And as usual, if you've got any questions, just put it in the comments below. Please share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.